I'm going to ask you for your market insights, and I know you wanted to ask Tom Lee. Tom, did you stick around? Are you still with me? There he is.
I love him even more.
I can't hear Tom. I hope he can hear us. You want to ask Tom a question?
Well, I just think that if we have big supply chain problems, there's been, and I'm trying to actually nail it down, a huge number of absentees. Like, for instance, in the FedEx conference call at the very beginning, they talk about how Portland's only 65% full. And therefore, they have to route everything around Portland. And that's because of COVID. So, Tom Lee, I ask you, if you get rid of absenteeism, does that give J-PAL some breathing room? Because that means that we're not going to have rampant inflation. And maybe even inflation can come down if people go back to work.
Oh, absolutely, Jim. I mean, as you just hit it on the head, when you look at a lot of the supply chain glitches, whether it's companies like FedEx or the buildup at the ports, 80 ships out of Los Angeles and just dozens off New York, it's because of protocols related to COVID. It's the fear for workers, as you're saying, and it's understandable fear about coming back to work, but these are going to contribute to all these glitches. So I absolutely agree. That's why I don't think it's a structural inflation problem, but it is transitory and it's painful, and investors have to really have patience to look through that.
Let me ask you this.
I point blank agree with
you. When you hear Jim Lebenthal, Farmer Jim,
right,
who I've now come to call Mr. All In, because he is literally all in. He has no cash on the sidelines.
No cash. I have 7% for the trust.
He thinks the bulk of the volatility or the caution in the market is due to the D.C. drama. Dysfunction is probably a better way of characterizing that. You think so?
We got Costins is telling us you got to plow through that. You got to plow through it. Yeah, you got to plow through it.